One sentence from my advisor almost broke me, but it also saved my dissertation. She looked at me and said, quote, "Organization isn't optional, it's survival," end quote. And in that moment, I realized something I didn't want to admit. I wasn't failing because I didn't have any ideas. I was failing because I didn't have a system strong enough to hold them. That sentence stung, but it was also the moment I started building a different way of working. By then, I was buried in chapter 2. My desk looked like chaos. Stacks of articles, highlighters everywhere, sticky notes falling off the wall, folders, half labeled, half forgotten. The IRB clock was already ticking in the background. And if you've ever faced IRB, you know that's not just paperwork, it's pressure. It's a countdown clock that follows you every other part of your work. But for me, this wasn't just academic, it was personal. I'm a Black scholar writing about DEI rollbacks, soft layoffs. So every source I found felt like a receipt, proof that our stories mattered. Every gap in the literature felt like silence. Silence about people who looked like me. So when I lost track of a citation or couldn't relocate an article, it didn't just feel sloppy. It felt like erasure. I thought I could muscle through it. I told myself, I've written papers before. I can handle this. So I kept everything in Word docs. I used sticky notes. I even tried bookmarking dozens of tabs and telling myself I'd get back to them later. Big mistake. One night, I spent 3 hours hunting for a single article I knew I had. It was somewhere on my laptop, somewhere in my browser history. At about 2:30 in the morning, I finally found it in my downloads folder with a file name like article 3498 final.pdf. Another night, I had to retype an entire reference list from scratch because formatting was off. Instead of writing, I was chasing. Instead of making progress, I was spinning in circles. And the IRB packet, it just sat there. The more disorganized I felt, the more I avoided it. The more I avoided it, the more my confidence continued to drop. I wasn't just tired. I started asking myself, do I even belong here? Before I tell you what saved me, I want to thank this episode's sponsor, Grammarly. Along with Zotero and Obsidian, Grammarly became part of my survival kit. Zotero kept me from losing references. Obsidian turned scattered notes into connected insights. And Grammarly made sure that when I finally had the words, they came out polished and professional. If you're in grad school, writing a dissertation, or just typing to get a paper over the finish line, these tools can save you hours and probably your sanity. The links are below. Supporting them helps support this channel. The shift didn't happen overnight. But one day, after another long all-nighter, lost to citations, I finally gave in. I told myself there has to be a better way. That's when I committed to these 3 tools. Zotero became my reference brain. Every article I read went there. Tagged, organized, searchable. No more random file names. No more scavenger hunts. Obsidian became my thinking space. Instead of random sticky notes, I started linking my ideas. When one thing connected to another, I could literally see the pattern forming. That's when my literature review started to feel less like chaos and more like a map. Grammarly became my safety net. I can't tell you how many times I turned in drafts with basic mistakes, not because I didn't know better, but because I was exhausted. Grammarly caught the details, so my advisor saw my ideas, not my typos. That combination didn't just save time, it gave me energy. And energy is everything when you're writing something this heavy. And here's the truth. I learned for scholars of color, the grind isn't just intellectual, it's also emotional. We're not just analyzing systems, we're living inside of them. And when the stress of disorganization hits, it doesn't just feel like you're behind. It feels like maybe you don't belong. It feels like maybe the silence in the research is swallowing you too. These tools didn't erase the pressure, but they gave me room to breathe. Enough structure to keep me from falling apart. Enough space to protect my energy. And that's what this whole dissertation is really about. Protecting stories, protecting the truth, protecting voices that too many systems would rather erase. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe and share it with another scholar who's grinding through their dissertation. And check out the Dissertation Diaries playlist, because every episode builds the case for finishing without losing yourself in the process. On the next episode of Dissertation Diaries, I'm breaking down what nobody tells you about IRB. Not the forms, not the checklists, but the hidden stress tests it puts on your confidence as a scholar. If you've ever stared at the approval process and thought, am I even ready for this? Trust me, you don't want to miss it.